Hey friends, as I film this, it is Sunday, January 11th. I am getting ready for my second knee replacement surgery, which is tomorrow morning, January 12th, and I'm having a lot of anxiety about it right now. I just had my first knee replacement surgery 3 months ago, and it went great. It really did. I mean, yes, it hurt. I had pain. We had a lot of trouble getting my pain under control that first few hours after surgery. I can talk about that a little bit more in another video just to give tips for those going through this. But this video is about the biggest fear most women who suffer from hair loss have, and that's, what am I going to do about my head? What am I going to do? What am I going to wear? How am I going to navigate this when I wear wigs? Can I wear my wig? All of those questions. So in this video, I'm going to address some of that and caveat this with every situation is going to be different. Every hospital will have different protocols. Every doctor, surgeon will have different protocols. Even if your doctor, surgeon agrees you can wear a wig, for example, the nurse that preps you for surgery may not allow it, and your surgeon may be in a surgery as she's prepping you, because a lot of times they batch them together and she can't even ask him. So you can have all the best laid plans and they may not work out, and you should be prepared for that. So let's talk about what I did and some of my advice. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. You can clearly see that I suffer from hair loss, and my content is hair loss and wig related, mainly wigs. I have chosen to stop spending my money on growing my hair back, and I've just decided to solve it through alternative hair. And I'm so glad you're here. And if you found my video because of the topic and you haven't seen any of my other videos, I have a ton of videos. I have a whole new wig wearers series. It's 8 episodes long. Kind of walks you through the wig journey from Wigs 101 to different things like caring for your wigs and how to choose a wig and how to measure your head. I will make sure that series is linked in the description box below. And so this video is really not going to be a super in-depth video, but if there's a lot of interest, I can make more videos on this topic. But for now, I'm going to share what my plan is and what I did for my surgery 3 months ago. So first of all, I realize I am in a different place than many of you. I have been sharing my wig journey and my hair loss publicly for over 7 years. Clearly, I get online and let people see my head, but I don't actually go out in public with my head like this ever. And I do have some insecurities about the fact that I leave this hair longer for blending with my wigs, but it looks ridiculous when I don't have a wig on my head. And I'll be honest, the last time I had this done 3 months ago, I considered buzzing this off so that it was all buzzed uniformly and it wouldn't look quite as stupid. But I did that about 2 years ago because I wanted to make some content. I was getting a lot of questions about, because I use this hair to blend with my wigs, and I was getting questions, well, what if I don't have hair to blend? And so I buzzed all my hair off so I could do some experimentation and then make content on it. And I regretted it every single day after that until it grew out long enough that I could blend it again. So I didn't want to go through that just for this surgery. So I didn't buzz it off. What I did, and I also didn't ask to wear a wig. Now, I did talk to the nurses, and we have to be realistic. I get it. Emotions are high. Our fears are real, and people can tell us all kinds of things, and it doesn't always change things. But these nurses have seen way, way worse than your thinning hair, regardless of what it looks like. They really have. And the last thing that they are really worried about is your head and your hair. Are they going to notice it? Of course, they're going to notice a lot of things, but they won't care. They care about you, the patient. They care about your pain. They care about your well-being. They don't really look at you. I mean, we're going to the hospital with no makeup on. They're going to see us in our worst. I mean, half naked, feeling terrible. Some people get really sick after anesthesia and pain meds, and so they're probably seeing you get sick, could be. I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom on my own until the very next day. So every time I had to go to the bathroom, the nurse had to help me. And then she stayed in there until I got on the toilet. The first time she stayed in there until the whole time. And then she at least allowed me privacy to go to the bathroom. So that's way worse in my opinion than them seeing my head. So I think we should think about this whole thing rationally and realize that there's a lot more going on than just our hair. But I will say that I know it may not change your fears. So what I chose to do is I wore a bucket hat to the hospital. It wasn't a hospital, it was a surgical center. But my husband took me and I wore this hat, this exact hat, because it's my favorite bucket hat and I have a whole bunch of them. And this is what I wore, no wig underneath. Because to me, it wasn't worth throwing a wig under here. I was just going to be taking it off. So this allowed me to, at least as I was walking from the car to the surgical suite, as I was sitting in the waiting room, as they took me back to the area where they're going to prep me, I had something on my head. And then pretty quickly, they had me put on a paper hospital cap, kind of like a shower cap, but bigger. And so I took this off and put that cap on. The thing is, when I woke up in recovery, I don't remember a lot about that, but when I woke up in recovery, there was nothing on my head. So at some point, as I was coming out of the anesthesia, they took off that cap. And so I was sitting in here just like that. That's fine. I really didn't care at that point. We care a lot more as we're anticipating than we care in the moment. I promise. And they allowed my husband to come back with me, and then they wheeled me to the care suite. So the way that where I had it done is they have a surgical center, and then on another floor in the same building, they have care suites. And you stay overnight in the care suite if you do knee replacement, and then you go home the next day. So my husband came into recovery. He had all my stuff. And so I don't really remember, but I do think I put this back on as they wheeled me in a wheelchair to the elevator and then to the floor and then, to my room. I think I did. I know I had the option because my husband had all my stuff. So that's potentially going to be an option. Now, because they put a surgical cap on my head, I am thinking it could be possible that you could wear a wig underneath that. Again, they want the environment as sterile as possible. To prevent infection, I had to shower the night before with an antibacterial. I used Hibiclens, but any antibacterial soap. I had to sleep in clean pajamas. I had to sleep under clean sheets. They directed me to change my sheets that night. Then I had to shower again in the morning before I went to the hospital. So, I think there are going to be mixed feelings about somebody wearing a wig. Is that as sterile as it would be on your head? You can ask, and because there is a surgical cap on, I'm thinking it could be possible. Now, you could consider sneaking maybe taking the chance they won't know that you have a wig on. I don't think I would recommend that, because what if there are complications? What if something happens? I think they take an x-ray of the knee afterwards to make sure everything looks good. And most wigs have metal. This has metal clips. So I would make sure your wig had no metal if you're going to try to do that. But the stays in the ears are metal. I would much rather you just ask. But even then, let's say you're a surgeon, you explain the situation. Your surgeon's like, oh, I don't care. That's fine. The nurse who's prepping you might care. She might not allow you to do that. You should have a plan B if you do want to try to wear your wig. Now, I would ask, if I were you, what's going to happen after? So I'll get wheeled to a recovery room. Will I be allowed to have a family member come into recovery with me before we go anywhere else? You could probably put your wig on in that room. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with not one single person seeing your hair. I really don't. I think at least a nurse is going to see it. So maybe make peace with that part of it and then have a plan for when you're having to be out and about throwing a wig on your head. For me, the bucket hat is just fine. It's fine. Nobody cares. But Another option that could be really good, I'm going to stick the adjuster in this one, could be a hat wig, or not hat wig, a headband wig. I love headband wigs so, so much. This one is my Milano human hair headband wig. I have shown a headband wig from Amazon that's $25 from Sapphire Wigs a ton of times. I have a whole video, multiple videos on YouTube about that. But this wig is my oldest. It's a human hair, which I prefer if I'm going to wear the hair down, is my oldest one. And so I'm not as careful with this one anymore because it's like 3.5 years old and I have some newer ones. And so this is one I'm going to bring this time. So I ended up bringing a headband wig last time, my luxury synthetic from 𝖳tu𝗂yi𝗂𝖾. But I'm thinking I'm going to bring this one this time. I'm starting to get really sweaty in this bathroom. I wore the wrong clothing for this. Because it's going to look really natural. I'm not going to get irritated by the hair. Synthetic fibers can tend to irritate me. I could sleep in this and be fine. And so I'm envisioning, let's say that I was really concerned about people knowing. Then I would have a plan for getting this on my head after surgery, if I could do it in the recovery room first, or if I have to wait till I'm in my room, but throwing this on my head and then just leaving it there for the rest of the time. I think that would be totally acceptable. When I first got back to my room, the first time I went out and walked in the hallway, so they have multiple recovery suites there, I made sure I had my bucket hat on. I didn't put my other hair on until the next day before we were going home. So I never put a wig on the whole time we were there. So I just wore this to walk the hall the first time, or maybe the first couple of times. Some of the memory is a little blurry. You know, I was on pain meds. But I do remember I was going out to walk for the last time before I was going to bed. It was probably 8:30 or 9 p.m. And there was an older gentleman doing his walk out there. But I hadn't put anything on my head that time. I was exhausted by that point. I had fought against the pain all afternoon. We really struggled to get my pain under control. What they first tried didn't really work. And so by then I couldn't have cared less. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm so done with this. So I went out and I walked like this. I 100% guarantee you that older gentleman does not remember me. If he remembers me, he just remembers another person walking. He does not remember some lady with a terrible buzzed head and ugly hair sticking out. There's just no way, because he was also recovering from surgery and also on pain meds. So I just want to encourage you. I do think there could be some solutions, but ultimately we build this up so much more in our heads than when we actually go through it. I'll give you one analogy for the ladies who've had children. When you're about to have a baby, it's not a planned C-section, you're going to go through labor. Most women worry about pooping as they're pushing. It is something a lot of women worry about. If you ever hear of it happening, you are going to worry about it. I know I did. I would have been I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be mortified if that happens. Sorry, I'm really dry. And I thought about that a lot beforehand. But the reality is, when you're in the moment and you're in labor and you're pushing and you're exhausted and you're in pain and there's people encouraging you, you're not thinking about pooping on the table or on the bed or wherever you are. And these nurses and doctors have seen it all. They're professionals. They're just going to wipe it away, take care of it. They're not going to say anything. Nobody is going to have to know. Your husband, if you have one, or significant others, probably up by your head, cheering you on and giving you encouragement, probably not down there looking at what's happening at that moment. So we do worry about things in the calm of the time before we're going through it that aren't a big deal once we're going through it. So that's my best advice for you. So have a plan. If it involves wearing hair into surgery, talk with your doctor, but know that you may have to have a plan B, because best laid plans. and it is surgery, so you never know what they're going to allow you to do. A bucket hat can be a great option because it does kind of cover everything and could give you some security, and when a wig maybe isn't ideal. A headband wig could be perfect because you can have it on. You don't have to worry about the lace front. You don't have to really worry about securing it that much. I wear a wig grip with it and then it stays, and I can sleep in this and it's not coming off my head. We're not tossing and turning that much in the bed after a knee replacement especially, or some major surgery. Usually you're hooked up to things, or you've got, I had a big ice thing wrapped around, an automatic ice machine around my knee, so I really wasn't tossing and turning. So I wasn't going to toss and turn the wig off. And so that could be a good option. A full wig, my only caution is synthetic can be challenging. The friction from the pillow could cause a lot of tangling and potential damage. With human hair, again, you want your wigs to last as long as possible, but you don't want to have to worry about getting everything lace front in the right place if you have to secure it additionally other than a wig grip. So a headband wig could be a good option if you really feel you need it. But I was pretty good with just this. And again, I need to say, I don't go out in public with my head uncovered ever. I don't go out in public really with just this on either. But just because I'm comfortable here does not mean I'm going to be comfortable in another situation. So I thought about it too. What am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? Those were the things I chose to do. So hopefully this helps, and you can share your experience in the description box below and let us know. What have you done and how did you handle it if you had to have surgery or spend some time in the hospital? Thanks for watching, you guys. Could use some prayers. Hopefully this one goes as well and even better. See you guys soon.
Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.